Hey everyone, it's Dr. Mills here. Welcome to the English 112 online section, I-01 at Johnston Community College. This is week three, and of course, I'm Dr. Mills. So I wanted to kind of just give you a heads up on what's going on this week, what you can expect, and a visual to go with these assignments. So I'm going to share my screen here. Give me 1 second. Share. Guys should be able to see that now, hopefully. Yep. So we're looking again, we've closed out module A. We're at the module B point now. Here is where we are on module B. We're at this week. Actually, what you'll have to do is the B6, B7, and B8 assignments this week. B6 and B7 actually start the week off really quickly. One of those is an e-text and connect assignment, and the other is a just review all materials and mark review folder. That B7 is just a folder to look through and mark the assignment reviewed. And then B8, the actual assignment that you're getting the instructions for in B7 will be due on the 5th, which is, give me a second here, Friday. So make sure you go ahead and get started on that. Let's take a look at B7 and B8. B6 is pretty self-explanatory. What you're looking at for B6 here is a link to the E-Tech chapter 8 and 29, and the Smart Book activity for that assignment. Make sure that you do those readings and that assignment. It explains how to do an annotated bibliography, what you're doing. Basically, an annotated bibliography is a list of sources on a particular topic, and then what you have is just a citation for that source in MLA or APA in this case. And then underneath is a paragraph that kind of explains, or a summary paragraph that explains what the source is about. And for this, the processes or the purposes of this assignment, you'll also have to write another a paragraph on that source. That's an evaluative paragraph. You'll see when you look at the instructions for the B7 assignment. So what you're going to see is you're going to read here how to do the annotated bibliography in B8, and then in B7 and I'm sorry, B6, and then in B7 and B8, these two assignments are linked. This is the instructions. This is the link to turn the assignment in. So when you're looking at B7, this folder here, all of these resources help you to complete this annotated bibliography to source draft. Now, it can get kind of confusing for you here. The annotated bibliography to source draft only requires you to use two of the sources that you're planning on using in the semester-long proposal essay. And then at the end of this B module, you'll be completing a full annotated bibliography that has 8 sources in it, including the two that you use in the two-source draft. So this two-source draft is just kind of a stepping stone assignment toward the full draft that's due in B, what is that, 12. So you'll get some practice in this two-source draft when you turn in the B8 assignment. I'll give you feedback on that, and it'll explain to you what you might need to fix or how you might need to approach the annotated bibliography for the assignment that's later due at the end of the B module. So B6 explains what an annotated bibliography is and what you do. Let's look at the B7 folder here. You're looking at the instructions for the two-source draft. It asks you to go ahead and choose two sources that you've located for your project because you're supposed to be doing some ongoing research now. You're looking at resources that you want to use for the proposal essay. So you're looking at all sorts of, this is on the problem that you found that you suggested needs to be solved in the occupational field that you want to go into. So you should choose sources from two different categories that are below here. So for this two-source draft, I want you to select one source of each one of these four, sorry, one source from this list and then another source from this list. Try not to repeat that. So either one peer-reviewed article and one trade publication article, or one peer-reviewed article and one popular source, or a trade publication and a popular source, not two popular sources, not two journal articles, not two. Understand that? I hope so. If not, ask for further clarification on that. Um, there's a guide in the B3 folder that tells you what those types of sources are and how to determine what they are. If you don't remember that, go back over that. Um, after you complete the 5 steps below, submit the draft to the folder. Read your feedback on this assignment, and then you'll use that feedback to fix your draft for your full annotated bibliography, and you'll add 6 more sources to it with their annotations. So you're going to create the correct APA reference page citation. You're going to summarize by writing a 1 paragraph summary of the source from 150 to 200 words. The summary will do these things. Begin with a sentence that does this. This is just like Legos. You're just putting these pieces together, so you're setting this all up for one piece. This is how you do this. You build this, then you do this, then you do this. You clearly introduce each major supporting detail. You don't use your opinion on this. You're remaining objective. You're only reporting the information objectively, but you do use your own words. It may have 1 to 2 incorporated quotes, but those are not required. You should more paraphrase and summarize. Only use third person, so you're not saying I or you. You're writing a 1 paragraph evaluation that explains why this source is credible and how you plan to use the source later. So follow these instructions here. Your 2 source draft will look like the samples following these APA rules, and then it says revise and edit. So you're going to see 2 example drafts here. Here's one. Let's take a look at one of those. Let me make sure I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at. Yep. So you see here that there's a title page that has the information here, annotated bibliography, and then the topic that you're covering. Your name will go here. This will go, the Department of English, Humanities, Foreign Language will go here. Your instructor, my name is Dr. Paul Mills. Then after that, you'll see that there are 2 sources. The first one starts here. There's the citation in APA. Then the summary begins. Here's how you know it's credible. Second source starts here. Here's the summary. Here's how they know it's credible. So that's 2 sources. This is what a 2 source draft will look like. You will do, of course, 8 sources later in the full draft that comes to at the end of the B module, right? So we're looking back now at the examples. So there's 2 examples to look at there. Here's resources for formatting your documents according to APA guidelines. And then the rubric for the assignment is here that explains how it will be graded. All right. So that's the B7 annotated bibliography 2 source draft, instructions and resources. Then the link is here. That's where you'll turn that in. So if we look back at the modules, looking at the B module schedule again, B6 is the annotated bibliography connect assignment. B7 is where you see the assignment instructions. And then later in the week is where you'll turn in that 2 source draft that follows the lead of those 2, one of the samples I just showed you in the B7 folder. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. Next week, you'll start working on that full annotated bibliography draft. You'll have to do a plagiarism review. You'll submit your 8 source draft to the writing portal and then submit it to me for grading. So that's what will come next week. But thank you so much for paying attention to this video, and I will talk to you again at the beginning of week number 4. Wow. Have a good one.